a retro gamer and hobbyist artist with a lot of nerve. Crolister, the master opponent. With Street Fighter 6 now being available for play on a Nintendo console, I thought this week I would do Ryu Hoshi from Street Fighter for this week's How to Draw Character video. Enjoy. An easy-to-draw character for the most part. He's just a muscular human man in a martial arts uniform. I'll start with the base draw for the head. Now do the nose, now do the mouth. We want him to have a serious look, because that's the kind of look he always has. We're gonna draw his eyes like that because he's Japanese. Sorry if I offended anybody. We're gonna erase some stick-out spots here. Then eyebrows. Then I'm going to draw the bottom part of the headband. For the top of the headband, we're going to tuft out some of his hair. Then we're going to go up. Trying to make it straight. There we go. Then the top of his hair. Pretty simple. It should be noted this is Ryu's previous design. As you see in Super Smash Bros., not his new look in Street Fighter 6. Same as with any other character I'm doing in this series. Like Isabelle. Draw the sides of his headband. Behind him like this. In his new look in Street Fighter 6, he obviously has facial hair. And he has a different outfit as well, which includes sandals and no shirt, I believe. Gonna draw the sides of his hair on the sides of his face and ears. If some of the characters that are already in Smash that return in the next game have their updated designs, like Ryu being in a Street Fighter 6 depiction, that would be pretty sick to see. I wouldn't swear to that, though, because, you know, they do kind of prefer to go with some characters' older designs, or designs that look closer to their original designs for Smash. Occasionally, some characters do get updated, like Link being Breath of the Wild and stuff, though, you know. You know, with Mega Man, they specifically went with the NES depiction and made it be 3D somehow. So, you know. I wouldn't swear to characters like Ryu and Ken being in their Street Fighter 6 depiction, or Cloud and Sephiroth being in the Final Fantasy VII Remake games. I wouldn't swear to that. So as you saw, I started drawing the torso. I drew some flaps for the robe and his pecs. Then I'm drawing his right hand, which will be held in a fist. We're going to tuft out the sides of his robe, like this. They're slightly tattered. Then I'm going to draw the base design for his glove. Make sure they're fingerless. Then I'm going to finish up his shoulder. Let's try to finish up the front part of the robe. I'm not going to go into full detail, like detailing the muscles on his arms or his exposed torso, his chest. I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm not a professional artist. I'm a hobbyist, so I'm gonna get started on his other arm then. Go down to the waist with the robe. Then I'm gonna close that part off so we can do the black belt. Then I'm gonna just draw that from there. I'll do his other hand now. Alright, then we're gonna do the wrist part and the finger sleeves. Then we're going to do the fasteners of the black belt, which just go downward that way. Then the waist part of the robe is a little tricky because it's not like a full torso. Kind of dangle down, and you just alright, we're gonna draw the edge parts of the robe. Like on the waist part of the torso part of the robe, it kind of has different sections that flap on the sides of him, which I'll show at the very end of the drawing. We're going to make this part be a little short because that can be a little bit tricky for kind of going for precision. This part of the torso part of the robe. Let me move this up a little bit before I proceed with the legs. The bottom part of the robe should be kind of short compared to his legs, because looking at the amiibo or the rendering game with the spirits, it's pretty well above his knees. So that made this somewhat tricky for me to draw without expanding the canvas, which I prefer not to do. I like it better if I can fit the whole picture on the default canvas size on Microsoft Paint, because it just makes me feel better that way. Having a little bit of trouble with the toes. Just a little. There. There we go. Right, then, Alright, so, afterwards, I decided to refine the legs and feet a little bit because they didn't really look right to me. Then I started coloring. Not much we really need to color here, though there are some parts on his attire that I still need to really put into the picture, which I'll do after I'm done coloring. I'm talking about the Japanese characters on his belt and gloves. I do those after I color. Very simple. Alright, now we're going to draw the Japanese characters on his gloves and belt fastener, which I looked directly at in game to use as a ref. This is what they look like on his gloves. And then we got these Japanese characters going along this side of his belt on his fastener. And then I gotta draw the irises and pupils of his eyes. Brown eyes, I think it is, for him. Even with the zoom function on the Nintendo Switch, which is not on its successor, by the way, it's still kind of difficult to tell with some characters just by looking at them in the spirit list or the fighter roster. So, you know. Try to make it as proportional to the other eye as possible. And one more detail that I talked about before, the waist part of his robe, which we should have some more cloth parts dangling from it on the sides, basically. Color those in. And now I'm really done. This will go up on my DeviantArt as the Wandering Dragon. It makes sense because they call him the Eternal Wanderer, and Ryu means dragon in Japanese. It also makes sense considering that he has a Dragon Ball voice actor, the voice of adult Gohan and the narrator. Very interesting how even though Sakurai knows people want Dragon Ball characters in Smash and refuses because they're anime, not video game, their voice actors still voice characters in the game. Like, Goku voices Lucario, and another character, Wolf, was voiced by Piccolo and Vegeta. So, that's a nice little homage as well. So, yeah. There's Ryu from Street Fighter. Consider subscribing or checking out my channel at least if you like any of the franchises that I have listed here, because I do like these a lot and would like to play and talk about them more on my channel, and I will try to come out with a how to draw a character video weekly as I've been doing lately, mostly from the Smash series. I'll try to do most if not all the characters from it at some point. And occasionally I'll do a Let's Play of some different retro games that may be available for play on the Nintendo Switches. So, I have quite a lot planned for my channel, so consider following me if you're interested. So with that, it's going to wrap up this How to Draw video. I am Crolister, Master of Ponage. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye.